Righteous world. It's that smooth spitting, fast talking host with the most. It's only right, and this is Write Your Own History TV. Before I go any further, I want to thank the Most High for this moment in time. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. Also, I want to give a shout out to WAP Tour Music, Cuzzo FM Radio, the Tattoo Shop Radio, LLR Radio for broadcasting Write Your Own History TV on their platforms. Please share the live video. Tune in. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Share the live video. Share the live video. Share the live video. I will get to as much comments and questions as I can during the live video. Tonight we got one of Philadelphia's finest spitters, Armani Rain, ex-battle rapper, U.S. and bass drum veteran, well respected in the EDM community. Known as one of the top EDM vocalists, top line vocalists in the EDM community. We're going to tap in. We're going to talk about his upcoming project, The Last Rhetoric, Old Days, dropping March 10th of this year. So we're going to tap into that. We're going to get to know the artist, get to know the man, get to know the person. You already know what it is, man. It's only right, man. It's now tuned in Write Your Own History TV. If you don't know, now you know. It's the platform where we broadcast and highlight all independent creatives, innovative, inspirers, motivational people, whoever. You're doing your thing. This is where we highlight you guys. This is the platform right here. I'm the host with the most. It's only right. We waiting for Armani Rain to tune in. We're going to tap in with the boy. Hope everybody's Monday was productive, blessed. Hope it was productive, progressive. Hope you had a great Monday. And we're going to have a good time, man. You know what it is. If it's your first time tuning in, I appreciate it. Thank you. Share the live video. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to Alien Gang. Shout out to Certified Nation. We got Armani Rain in the building. You already know what it is. Certified Nation in the building. Shout out to everybody, the whole Alien Gang Nation in the building. We got the Philadelphia's finalists. We got Armani Rain. What's good, King?
Hello, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I want to shout you out. I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna. Before we even get to the project and who you are as an artist, how you doing? How was your Monday? What's going on with you? How's everything?
I'm doing well, man. I've been running around like crazy, getting prepared for the week and wrapping up everything for the album that's dropping on 10th. I've just been, judging the battles over on Vicious page with Devious, on Devious's page, excuse me. The tournament's going on right now. It's been a lot of really cool battles, man. Just been writing some things back and forth. But before we even get into all that, I do want to say, and I said this in private, but I want to make sure I say this publicly. I want to thank you for giving the time to not just myself, but other artists and creatives on this platform and spending your time to shed light on us, man. That's like truly a blessing and appreciated. So I want to thank you for that.
I appreciate it, man. To be honest, it may sound a cliche, but this ain't even me. This is God's doing. I'm just, I just built the platform. I just felt, as being an artist myself, that a platform that to celebrate us. We don't really have that without all the politics, and as especially coming from an artist itself or someone that knows the hustle and the grind and what it takes to even put the time in to be a full-fledged artist, whether it's independent, underground, whatever it is. It's a lot of work and sacrifice. So I just felt that it was something that I can do it's my way to help my help to just give back to the community, to the culture, just for because you never know. Again, I always tell somebody, you never know who's watching in, who's tuning in. Don't be worried about if it's 200 numbers or 2 numbers, because it could be 200 nobodies in your room, and it could be 2 people that could change your life in the same life. So you can't worry about who's there, and who's not. To just do your thing, and the rest will happen naturally, organically. So I just felt that it was something I could get back to y'all, again. My network don't know your network, and vice versa. So again, it's to grow each other, to grow us as a network. It's all the way to try to bridge the gap, and that's the main reason. That's why I love the whole culture, because it's the way we can bridge gaps through. Even though COVID brought the whole remote thing around, and I'm not the biggest social media fan because of how it affects us the daily life, but it brings us together without even leaving our house, and from all backgrounds and nationalities and states. So that's why I do this, and it's all about you guys, man. Because I can sit up here and talk about me all day. But I know it's not about that. It's about you, Amani Rain, and whoever's tuned in, and about you guys. About just giving y'all your flowers while you're here. Not waiting for y'all something to happen to y'all or whatever. Just giving y'all your flowers because
Well,
y'all
it
deserve it, man.
needs to be said, man. 'Cause I said this whole network thing is funny that you say that. Is we've all been tapping into different networks lately, and I actually met or at least observed you and started watching you through somebody else and meeting City the Great and people like that. And even when I noticed your other page, you would get on in the morning and say real positive things while I was like driving to work or driving my kids to school, man. So I just appreciate your presence. So you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to having this conversation for sure.
Yeah, man. But meeting of the great mind. This is what we do, man. But yeah, that's like I said. I was talking about you before you tapped in about I was giving highlighting your background, and you've been in the game over 20 years, and the whole EDM community. For those that don't know what EDM is, electric dance music, and how that even became drumming and bass veteran and all of that. I was like, yo, hold up, dude is very versatile as far as your artistry and just hearing you from even the freestyle. I mean the freestyle battles that I see and envision and your wordplay and hearing you on songs and bars and really crafting and concepts. It's like, yo, dude is dope. You know what I'm saying? You kind of remind me. I was telling Cindy, I was like, yo, you kind of remind me of Royce the 5'9" as far as how intricate and how you put it together. You know what I'm saying? As far as you go, the verse would be crazy, intricate in bars and metaphors. Then the hook would come on like melodic and smooth, and it just puts you in a certain zone. It's like, yo, nah, that dude is dope, and it's just different. I like to when artists display their creativity and kind of step outside the box. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope. I'm going on because there's so much. There's just so much. When you sent me your line, your page, I was like, dang, EDM. You don't hear too many hip hop artists, into the EDM and really branching out from battle rap and that type of electronic dance music. And so how did it, it's forming to a question, but how did that even come along as far as you getting involved into EDM, and how did that correlate to you being an MC?
It's funny. Because a lot of people are jumping into the EDM basket now, which is a beautiful thing, by the way. It's all we ever wanted was from the beginning was to completely blur the genres together, so there were no barriers, anything like that. But to start from the beginning, man, I've been rapping since rapping was rapping since I was a little kid. I idolized. I'm kind of old now, so I idolized everyone from KRS. Yeah, it's a badge of honor, man. I idolized everyone from Kumo D to KRS One to you just LL Cool J, like coming up, listening to the Beastie Boys, Ice Cube, just going through the eras and listening to different spitters. But I've always been rapping from the very beginning. But for a long time, I tried to do the so-called right thing, from freestyling in the streets to working three jobs just to pay the rent and things like that. And honestly, I was doing a lot of battles back in the day. I started out, I was doing, I went from freestyling to house parties and things of that nature to calling up a radio station, 103.9, when Zulu and the Fan was on there in Philly. And they used to call in, similar to what we do on the live. Used to call in on the phone. It was really hard to do because you had the music playing and there's a delay, so
Hmm.
you had to do this like weird kind of like not listen to that and like this crazy setup, right? So anyway, the first time I got on there, and I was like, I used to go by Armani Capone back then, and they clowned me for the name Capone, and I got about 4 bars into my rap, and about 4 bars in, when you were terrible, they used to play a recording of this like Looney Tunes background, like, and it would start off like, you can't rap,
Wow.
you are a whack MC, so don't you ever call here again. And then it would go into a coliseum of booze, and it was like the hardest punch in the mouth after, because your friends tell you dope. Everybody tells you dope.
Uh-huh.
You with your homies, you're like,
Uh-huh.
hey, that's just fire, that's just fire. So I was like, oh, let me go on here, and that happened, and it was probably the most life changing moment to this day.
Mm.
One of the most life changing moments to the day as far as my rapping is concerned. I went that weekend. I moved down to the shore in Jersey. No money, no nothing. Just went and got a job on the boardwalk, like doing dumb shit. And like every night, I would just go out into the streets and find any battle, different venues, and just battle everybody in sight. And it was just like I'm never getting booed again. Like I refuse. Like I'm gonna
No,
sharpen my craft.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
not
going
doing
to do that
that. Yeah, we not doing it.
again.
So like I went after the summer was over, I went back to 103.9. They remember like, oh, you was due from last time. Like, yeah. And I won that battle and then continued to be Cypher champion on
Mm,
103.9 for like 3 months straight. Started doing
mm,
different battles throughout South Philly and just traveling around, just battling anybody I can. It was just battle, battle, battle. And then what's funny is battle rap back then wasn't what it is now. It was
mm.
a little more Wild West back then.
Yeah,
I didn't see the longevity in it.
yeah.
So also I was going through a lot of turmoil in my life personally at the time. So I was trying to
Mm-hmm,
really find myself and I was just roaming the streets. I was kind of like not homeless at the time, but definitely just a nomad to say. And I was living in
mm,
Jersey at the time, and my boy had a radio station on Camden County College. So we went up there, and he was just rapping. Like I was supposed to battle somebody on the air. That person
mm-hmm,
never showed up at all. So I ended up just freestyling for like an hour straight, just on the
mm,
radio, just freestyling over every hip hop beat you could possibly throw at me at the time. And randomly, towards the end of the show, there was about 10 minutes left. And he's like, yo, what if I play you this? Will you rap over it? And I was like, as long as it's not country, I don't care. Put it on, right? And he put on drum and bass. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I've heard it. I've heard the sound. We've all heard the sounds in movies and things like that. The Jungle Brothers and things, I've seen it in the source with Ronnie Size talking about it, but I didn't know what it was. So when I heard it and I
mm-hmm,
heard this different sound, and I come from the realm of, I love bass. I come from the Master Ace days. I come from, 215s in the trunk. And it
mm-hmm.
just had this different energy to it that was like industrial, but at the time, well, my first bring to it was like industrial, but it's like these crazy sonic bass lines, but it had these rhythm and patterns, and it blew my mind. And of course, back then when I was rapping to it, I was like still trying to figure out where I fit in it, so my rhymes were like very elementary. And then he
Yeah.
left. We left and got in the car, and he handed me a red tape called Suppin's Jungle, 1999, with DJ SS and Foxy and Skibbity. Rest in peace, Skibbity, forever. Two legends in the scene, two completely different paradoxing styles, contrasting styles that flowed over this music crazy. And I was like, I want to do that.
Mm,
So I started going
mm,
to underground raves, same thing. Show up, they like, he's not ready. He'll never be ready. And that anytime you tell me that, it's like, okay, cool. Well, now I'm gonna go at this full blast. So so I just basically showed up at every drum and bass party I could possibly go to and would hop on the mic whenever I was allowed. Never too pushy because I don't want to do that. And I've learned in the thing, I hate when people do that to me. Don't come up to me and ask for the mic while I'm rapping, dog. I'm here to do a job. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But um, I just put myself in every opportunity I possibly can to get next to who I felt was first anyone. And then after a while, when I started getting comfortable with my flow and learning UK flavor and style and what it means
Mm-hmm,
to toast, the thing about drum and bass is different from hip hop is um, if we were to disregard the five elements, as far as the rapper is concerned, is very lyric driven. It's the voice. The voice is our role in that is to make sure that that is the focal point. While drum and bass is the exact opposite. The music comes first, so you need to pick and choose your spots within those measures. And when
okay.
you're playing with a DJ, the DJ is vibing with the crowd, so they're picking a record as they go along. So I don't know what they're gonna play. You had to learn the math of the music. You had to learn the flow of the music, and you had to read the crowd, freestyle, and write whatever you can do to keep the crowd entertained. And to
Mm,
me, that was like learning a different science of music, and
yeah.
on a high level. If you listen to drum and bass, it's an acquired taste. I lost a lot of hip hop friends back in the day because they're like, oh man, it's too fast because all they're listening to is the hi hat, but what you're not understanding is this music actually derived from Jamaican sound clash culture. It's basically the UK's elevated version of hip hop. This is what they took to hip hop. And if you listen to it and know anything about time signatures, the beats, the grooves, the melodies are actually half of what the drummer's playing. They use the Amon break, which is one of the, it was popularized by one of the most famous breaks, the Amon break. It's actually a documentary. We'll talk about that later. And they basically double timed it, but the grooves are halftime. So if you take 174 BPM or 180 when it's played in the club, it actually drops down to about 90 BPM. So if you're listening to the bass lines, it's pretty much hip hop. You feel me? So what was cool was I learned the UK flow and then adapted my American hip hop style to create my style of emceeing. And because I wasn't the first one to do it, there are many people like Jay Massini and Dub 2, beautiful names, Posy D, who were also doing the same thing. People I met through the streets of Philly battling and coming to shows. And I learned a lot from a lot of people and became ingrained in this culture that we don't even like to be called EDM. It's just it just happens to be characterized like that. Although I did in a later date, because I always tell people when I learned drum and bass, it's such a technical music. It was almost like, I make this comparison all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, the show Heroes. Remember Heroes? And there was
I didn't see it though. I wasn't sure about the name. The name rings a bell.
There was a character on there named Siler, and he was a watchmaker. And when he got his powers, what he did is when he learned the mechanisms in the watch and how they worked, it was almost like he had dissected time and space and figured out how to do that. And I felt drum and bass kind of did that for me. If you can rap over drum and bass and respect the music and know where it's almost like if I can fit syllables in there when I break them apart to other forms of music, and I love other forms of music, I appreciate the versatility with my different types of backgrounds and people that I've met. I can apply that to my music, and I want to be as versatile as possible. I've grown into that as an artist. Back then, I just wanted to rap over everything and everything possible. It was just like, you know, it was a house party. You threw some house on, I'm going to rap over some house. You throw on some two-step, I'm going to rap over that. You put on some breaks, I'm going to rap over that. Yeah, it's like, you going to hear me rap, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, so it was just meeting different people and doing that became my way. It was like, I want to be as versatile as possible. I make the joke today, I want to make a hard trap tune one day and rap for Disney the next without a blink of an eye from anybody that knows me. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much my journey into EDM and kind of why I'm back on the hip hop tip again, to you know, not just remind people but more remind myself. It's just like, yo, like, this was my first love. This is what got me here. This is what I woke up and did every morning when people told me this was never going to work and go get a job and do this and this and that. It's like, yo, I traveled the world off of being able to speak my piece and grow within that. So, yeah.
But that's fire, because it's like you prepare for anything. Because I'm almost thinking that it has to probably make the hip hop beats a little easier to even formulate raps to it after doing the EDM, the drum and bass, because being able to fit in a certain space and be dope at the same time, it has to be a skill learned. As far as the hip hop, you just, you know, it's not really about, you're not worried about filling the spaces. You're worried about, I got these bars and it could go here.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like that has to be the transition from the EDM to the hip hop. Like, oh, this is easy now. It's like, oh nah, I know where to spit, where I'm going, the space, the breathing, everything coming from that area has to be a crazy transition. And I'm assuming it's easy for you because I hear it on the last rhetoric, as far as, you know, when we get into that. But like you said, the way, because to some it could sound like, oh, he's not really kind of offbeat, but like not really. He's not really offbeat. He was just kind of setting you up for that bar, that last line. Like, oh nah, I caught that.
Yeah,
I get you now.
It's funny that you said, yeah, you took an akin to Royce. I've never not listened to hip hop. Has always been my first love. Even when I'm on stage, I introduce the DJ. This is DJ, whoever, you know what I mean, depending on the situation. I say, my name is MC Armani Rain. I represent hip hop, drum and bass, and everything in between. And I'm a hip hop head first, and that's a fact. So I'm a student of the game as well, and I always listen to the lyricists that I felt played with the poetry, because that's what it is at the end of the day. People forget that. Like, at the end of the day, you're a poet. And if you study poetry, not everybody writes poetry the same. Some of them don't even rhyme. The bar structures are different. So people like Rakim, who made himself an instrument of the sound, Eminem, who made a syllable flow, Kendrick, who had tight delivery. Royce the 5'9" was one of the main people who I aspire to be, because Royce, since the beginning, took bar structure and just threw that shit out the window. Like it was just like, you know what I mean? Like my favorite thing is when he's on M's thing and he's like my flow's all over the place. Like he's telling you, like, it doesn't matter where I start rhyming, I'm gonna come back to it. Just be patient and I'm gonna paint a picture while I go. And that to me is more important than anything. That's why I love rapping a cappella. People are like, you know, what beat is he even rapping to? It's just like, bro, it's all poetry. So whatever Bruce Lee, be water, whatever cup you want to hand me, I'm gonna try to fit into that cup. You know what I mean? It comes down to when people send me music. I'm like, don't send me music that you think I want to rap to. I want you to send me music you think is beautiful, and I will find a way to fit into that cup.
That's well said. That's artistry right there. That was spoken like a poet, a true artist.
Appreciate it. Just talking shit. You know? Making it up as I go along.
So as far as you know, from being in the battle rapping days and now, you know, creating songs and doing tours and all of that, do you find was it difficult, or do you still find it challenging to kind of come out the battle rap thought process? Because I'm pretty sure you can be hard on a verse, but not, you don't want to sound like you're battling someone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to sound like the battle rapper. Do you still find yourself, you know, kind of challenging yourself to get out that thought process?
Constantly. I think it really depends on the music that I'm sent, on whether I'm in that mode or not. But for the longest time, it was damn near impossible. I had to find a way and actually like challenge myself to stop doing it. It's funny because I was just speaking with my homie, another alien rap man, Ron, and he said something that literally echoed. After a while, you get tired of battling the invisible person, you know, and it's kind of like, what am I trying to prove here? Like, okay, I can rap. Like, okay, like it's almost in a competitive sense, because that's always in me. It's kind of just like a shout out, like, hey, like, don't test me either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go over there and make some dubstep, but at the same time, like, you know, I can rap.
I can chop your head off.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, when it comes to songwriting, and especially when I do as much collaborations as I do, you have to get out of that regularly. Even when I do things, there's a lot of times, simple tricks. You write it with I, and then when it's done being written and before you record it, you just switch it to we. You know, it's just like, because it's not like I'm being so self or braggadocious or the bravado. It's just confidence in your ability should translate to anything you're doing. It's not about me saying that I'm the dopest rapper in the world. It's about being confident through thick and thin. You know what I'm saying? It's just having that and exuding that, because it's contagious. You know what I mean? So, and at the same time, don't test me. But also, another point is, and I say this a lot, and I stress this to a lot of artists, that's almost easy to write the rah-rah stuff. So as you notice with this album, and a lot of the solo music I make, if you go through my catalog and you listen to all the EDM collaborations and drum bass collaborations, they're on a certain thing. But all of my solo stuff is personal and therapeutic, because I believe that the rah-rah stuff is easy. That's what we do. That's what we battled on the streets for, yada, yada, yada. But I couldn't spit you. I could at times, but it wasn't the go-to. I only did it when I felt the respect was there and I can show you the other side of me and be therapeutic. It's easy to make someone say, put your hands up. It's more important to make you feel something, to make you understand my flaws, because we all have them. And that's kind of the tip I want to strive for nowadays, is understanding I'm a flawed man and I've learned a lot of things and gained perspective through those flaws. So I have no problem airing them out to you.
I appreciate that. I always thought, you made me think of something. I always thought it was kind of backward as far as hip hop, how, you know, before you hear a person's deep thoughts or his personal, he has to have a club track or something street or something. But because sometimes that's not really that person. But until it's like the hip hop community sometimes has to be like, oh, he a street dude, he this. And, oh, now in order for them to come to hear you talk about the deepness, or whether you was pro black, whatever you promoting, whatever it is, it's like you gotta almost come like step over a boundary, like break down a wall. Like, let me show you I'm hard, or I can do this, and then I can show you that it's the true me. I can kind of open my closet, and always thought that was kind of a downfall to the hip hop community, as far as being
Well, it's
open to other artists, because sometimes that might not be the artist's go to the club or the street thing, but
not
his
right.
personal might be like, yo, that what you wanted, but you didn't even get that far because you didn't allow him to even become himself. If that
100%.
makes sense, you know
So,
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, for eons, you remember it was very common. The hip hop thing was like, okay, get on, do something, and then once you grab everyone's attention, then you can be creative. And we all thought that was
Mm-hmm.
as backwards for the longest time, but nobody did it. It was Andre 3000 is a prime example of that. Like
Yeah.
he was not that that wasn't him, but he wasn't allowed to get his creativity going until he made a name something else, and there are countless artists, and it's not just in hip
Yeah.
hop. Hip hop is probably more hardcore about it than other genres, but to me, it's a societal thing. I talk about it all the time with people who want to listen to drum and bass, and I apply it to everything, and I call it I call it the wedge. Right? You get
Mm-hmm.
25% real and 75% bullshit. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
the bigger that number gets, the bigger the hole gets. So as long as you continue on making that number, that 25% technically is bigger. We just got to find a way to let's just skip the 75% and just get straight to the 25. And it's a very long road. And I think nowadays it's probably better to do it because we don't have to play the game anymore. We don't
Yeah.
have to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're willing to take the long road, I've been doing this for 20 years. If I wanted to go make a club track, I could have,
Mm-hmm.
but I chose not to. I chose the longest fucking route possible, you know? And now it's not even about the route anymore. Now I'm like, I'm not trying to be 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
different thing now. Comes with age,
Yeah,
I
you're right.
guess.
You're right about. I just feel like people will relate to the artists, more on the come out when it's like, yo, because they went through that same thing. It was like, I was just going through that with the artist. You know what I'm saying? But a
For
whole
sure.
nother story. That's a whole nother interview for another day. But let's get into this last rhetoric and how that even came about with the homie Bro Safari, and how that came
Oh,
about, the
nice.
collaboration, and that's a whole nother intricate, collaboration is, what I mean? So let's talk about that and how that came about, and break down, what what's expected, and the feeling that you want people to feel when they hear this album.
Um, First of all, there are many people in my life who've come along and sit me down and talk real talk to me. Put Rob Mason up there, for Mason from Gasm, tattooed on my arm. Goldie, uh, many people. Nick is one of those people. Nick started. He's originally from Atlanta. He started in a D&B group called Evil Intent, basically
Mm-hmm.
pioneering a different sound for the states. Um, then he did a side project with excuse me, Kill the Noise called Ludacris. It was like a mashup thing, super creative. And then he started on his trap dubstep journey and became the monolith, the megastar that is Bro Safari. But I don't say megastar in the way that people hear it, semantics, not in the way of being. He's a beautiful soul and ungodly talented, no matter what sonic space you put him in. He plays different instruments. He is a wizard behind the computer. He's always been that. We toured for the longest time doing the Bro Safari thing. Even when I came aboard, it was like, I don't want this to be a Bro Safari Armani thing. I want to respect your brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to me because you are such a good dude, wonderful father, great role model. And I need to express that. Um, so going on tour, we formed a brotherhood, man, and we did a bunch of great shows, and we would always be at an after party or sitting in the hotel room at 4 a.m. talking about what would a hip hop album sound like if we went back and did that. And we've all been busy. we've both been busy. We were touring. We were getting to the end where the shows, not that they weren't fun. We have music ADD.
Mm-hmm.
When you do one thing for too long, it's like, all right, this is starting to, and then you come home from tour and you're trying to get back into music creation mode, but you're trying to spend time with your family, and then. So the pandemic hit, sat everybody down, and we said we did a song right before the pandemic hit. We did a song called "To the Few." There's a video up on my YouTube right now, and it was a very personal song, but it was the first time the two of us sat down and did a hip hop thing, and we were like, "Screw it." So we did another song and another song, but there was it's why you hear in the first track on the album, it says the only rule we had was not to have any. We're not going to make any singles. This isn't about nothing. We're just going to sit down and make music, and not what sounds catchy or anything. Let's be true to ourselves. I'm 44. He's 40. And it's just like, let's make the music we love and want to make. And there are no rules. We're not worried about making sure this one has a hook. Like, there's a song in there, the hook drops, and then you don't ever hear it again. And then the whole beat switches. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let's just make music. Let's be creative. Let's have fun again writing it. And at the same time, I wanted to get some things off of my chest at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's speak about my personal journey as well and give a different perspective. So we would both play with these soundscapes and feelings and put it into a package. We did 20 songs to begin with, and then did what Rick Rubin calls a ruthless edit. Broke it down into 13 songs, listened to them for a while, and then trashed a bunch of them. They're still there. They're not bad. We just said, let's do more. We ended up with probably about 28 tunes. And then we took the ones we couldn't live without. We replaced it with the new ones and then repackaged it. He did all the production. He is just an absolute mastermind. If you listen to it, that's the whole album.
Production is ill on that. I can't lie.
He's a psychopath.
It's definitely ill on that. The production, the concept is ill. You can tell that you guys had a lot of fun with that. You were in tune with each other. You had a lot of respect for each other's craft. Yeah. And like, again, you just had freedom to, like you said, we're not worried about a single. We're not worried about, we're just gonna do us and make good music. And that's a well put together project. My favorite, I got three. I think I had three, but my favorite is I'm between Tools and Triggered. But I didn't think Tools, because I just did the wordplay, how you was just flowing on that. I was like, oh nah, Triggered, because the bars, but the hook just had me. I was like, oh, because at first I didn't know what you were saying at first on Triggered and the hook. I didn't know what you were saying, and then after I heard the end, I said, oh, he said Triggered. And then I heard it, I had to hear the song again. I said, oh, nah, he bodied that.
Tools. Okay, so Tools is basically like an extension of To the Few, right? So To the Few ends and kind of picks up where Tools is, right? And the beat on that, when he sent it to me, I was like, bruh! like it was one of those, like, he sent it to me and it was done in an hour. You know what I'm saying? And then
that one spoke to you.
The hook immediately. And the way he flipped the hook, I was just like, bruh. So, like, it was just, again, us having fun, but I had a lot to say in that. Like, we was dead middle of the pandemic, riots going on, like all kinds of crazy shit. And I was just like, yo, we need to speak on it. And at the same time, I have a tendency sometimes to do that. It's all doom and gloom. So that's why the hook sounds the way it does. It's like, look, we got to address the light with the dark. I personally am excited that you like Triggered, because that it's kind of left field. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's a very soulful country music. Like, it plays around in genres, and I love it. But I was very interested on how the public was going to take it. But like I said, I want to be able to just flip between styles and not anybody trip on it. So it means a lot that you said that. I appreciate that. I know it means a lot to him too.
You can ask City. I like when I hear stuff different. It's like, yo, hold on, because in my head I'm like, how would I have done that? Like, oh, what would I have done on this type of track? I started thinking, and because again, when I heard it, I heard the hook. I was like, hold on, what are you saying though? At the end, I didn't understand. And when I heard the trigger, I said, oh, because now I heard it again with a different ear. Like, hold on, now I gotta understand what he was talking. I said, oh, nah, he bodying this right here. I
Appreciate
said,
it.
nah,
Yeah,
that's different.
because
That's different. That's like,
that means a
again,
lot to both of
I
us.
like I like left field stuff. Because like, again, as an artist, you come with it's the respect. The artist is like, hold on, how you gonna come on this? Let me see how. Okay, all right,
That was another one.
okay.
He sent it to me, and I didn't waste. Like some of them, he sent them to me, and it's not that they're not fire and don't inspire me. I'm not one of those people that turn around and say, I write every tune 10 minutes. I'm way too. I'm not gonna say intricate because that sounds the type of way, but I probably overthink these things too much. You know what I mean? And sometimes, man, he just sends me when that piano hit. I literally was as soon as it hit. I said that first line out loud. Like it was just like I'm just a no soul, and I was just like, okay, this is where we going with it. You know, like I want to be there, but also bring it back to some old school hip hop shit as well, and try to blend the two together. And I think it came out well, man. So I'm very happy. It means
No,
a
it
lot to
came
me that
out.
you said that.
It came out dope. Like again, being just getting to know you through the platform with Vicious and DET and those guys in the game. Shout out to them. Shout out to everybody tuned in and commented. And I'm sorry if I'm not reading the comments back, but we just again this whole Right to Know History TV is like we're on an extended
Yeah, yeah,
couch.
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
on my end, you know what I'm saying? He's
I
in his
can't.
couch, I'm on my side, and we just chilling. So I'm saying, so I might not see the comments or read them because we just building.
And the gang
But
knows how much I love them, man. Like I owe a lot to them. I mean, met you through them, and everyone has been extremely supportive. It's a beautiful community. Like the fact Vish, Devious, like the name goes down the list from Knowledge to Waylon, Rap God, everyone. Like I couldn't name enough people. There's people in the comments. I saw MJ, that's my super homie from Atlanta, who we've been through thick and thin. Who was actually in the car with me when I got into my accident. Um, the ongoing support. It's not just support, which is what makes it cool. Is
mhm.
it's a brotherhood, and anyone who knows me knows that means more to me than anything. Like I appreciate the support, but when I don't do the fan thing, it's like you're all part of this walk together. You know what I'm saying? Like we all met on this frequency for a reason. Like God put us here, higher power, however you want to put that, put us here. So we're all walking it together, and I appreciate every single person that comes into the circle and protects their peace along with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope. Now this you made me. Now I gotta say this because again, shout out to my Certified Nation family, everybody tuned in, and like
Shoot.
y'all make me. I'm telling you, I was listening to y'all. I always tune into y'all, and even City. Shout out to City and J Law and my team. I be hearing y'all sometime, and I be tuned in. I be like, I gotta set my shit up. Respectfully, because I be like, oh nah, I hear y'all right around. Oh nah, I gotta scrap that.
Yeah,
If I step up under these dudes, and which is I love that though because it just
100%.
makes me better. It makes me better. It's like, hold on, I gotta these
Oh,
dudes, and
bro.
it be so much. It's so much different styles and different artists and different lyrical abilities that when you tap into that community, you never know what style you're gonna get or what type of art you're gonna get. So that's why I think
Makes you
Knowledge
better.
said it. Not to cut you off. Knowledge said that I had him. He said it's no, it shouldn't be a such thing as whack because it depends on how you listening, where you come from, what you've been through, your background. Because well, I be corny to me could be the hottest shit someone heard ever in their life. So it's like it's hard to say what's whack and what's not because there's so many different backgrounds and you guys, that community just, I'll be sharpening my pen like, nah, I gotta get.
It
That's
is.
why. That's why I ain't going to tournament. Not that I'm scared or it's like nah. I want to make sure I'm representing myself the right way because I want to make sure like whether win or lose, I want to make sure like yo, nah, that nigga, it's only right. Nah, we have personal respect on his name, and you know what I'm saying. So I understand that part. It's like nah, these niggas be on their shit.
I want to say that many people use the term steel sharpens steel. Um, I don't think there's a better representation of that than what we're doing over there. To the
Mm-hmm.
point where it's gotten like I've been doing the judging this tournament, and even my critique is not because I think you're less or whatever, if I have a critique, it's because I see it in you. If you could just tweak something, I have learned a lot from every single one of them. I can't wait for this album to be out so we can do the next thing of all the things that I've learned from y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've gotten better because of y'all. I've gotten better because I was thrown into the fire. And that's kind of what this whole resurgence is about. I was doing a thing. That thing was either stopped or taken away, maybe a little bit of both. But everything that made me want to start rapping was being thrown into a fire, trial by fire. So when I'm in there with these cats on a regular basis and I'm listening to them in awe, even if there's things I think you can tweak, it's because, hey, I'm giving you my perspective too, just as much as I'm taking things from you as well. Like, don't, like, we're all here to grow and get better and show the world that we ain't got to do the Mickey Mouse bullshit, bro. Like, we can just make each other better and grow our own thing. Like, and that's, it's literally the dojo, bro. And I always say, like, even I understand wanting to represent yourself, but I also, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but I'm also saying there is a positive to just jumping in the fire as well, even if you lose.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares?
you're absolutely right. Because like you said, it's always going to be a teachable moment. Because then again, I might not even know. I might bring something out of myself that I didn't know. Like, oh
There you
shit,
go.
I didn't even know that was in me. But again, that's why I like that what I got over there, because it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you like, oh snap, because again, there's so much different artists out there, and that's dope. That's really dope without being Mickey Mouse or Bubblegum. That really got something to say. That really is like dope,
And
and not be.
this has been the most organic, and this is like what you think, because you go through all these things and you up and down, and I've been to different circles and you see people's agendas and this and that and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, bro, like, a lot of this lately has been the most organic experience ever. You and me talking right now. I didn't pay you to do this, and then I said, hey man, you want to hear my album? And here we are. When we work with them, it's like, hey man, I think you're dope, here's a tune. Or all, like, Vish don't gotta do this. Devious doesn't have to do this. They take time out of their day for us because they see the potential in this. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is all just beauty things. I send people music, and bro, when we went to go push this album, I'm just being completely candid here. We hit up PR firms and they did the thing. It's not for us. I said, okay, fine. So we said, screw it. We're just going to put the thing out. That's why the release date is faster than normal. There's no crazy rollout. And I sent it to people that I just think are dope. And this is the response we get back. That's real. That's real love. And that is a representation of all the shit we've been doing this whole time with the alien gang. We're all aliens on a completely different frequency than everybody else. And it's a beautiful thing. As long as we can keep each other in check, we good.
That's what I respect about the community. There's no egos. There's no one worried about being better than someone else, or it's all about uplifting the next one. How can you become the better you? Like you said, we all see something in each other, and when I see y'all critique each other and critique people, it's never no hate. The response is always like with love. It's never no malice. It's straight.
Some jokes.
Nah, I mean, that's of course it's dope, but the
Brothers,
jokes are
man, you're
funny.
supposed to do.
So, but that's family though. That's being
Exactly.
real. I like if especially in being an artist. If you can't take critique, you're in the wrong business.
Facts.
Because you know what I mean. If you can't take someone being honest with you, because it's only gonna make you better, you in the wrong business. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's dope about that community. Like you said, Fish don't have to do this. None of them have to do that. That's time out of their day. And like I said, sometimes it's 200, 300 artists on there, and they're picking people to come on and just giving them the opportunity to spit and just showcase their talent, and for nothing. They're not getting no reward for that. They're not getting, you know what I mean? So shout out to them for that. And I'm like, clap it up for them. Clap it up for everybody that's here now. Because again, you came a long way, man. I say this a lot, and sometimes I sound like a preacher. I'm not a preacher, but it's just sometimes it's just within me to speak, positive things, because we take for granted how powerful the tongue is. I was telling my boy was talking about how all these young artists, how they dying and getting shot and killed. And I'm like, they speaking it. I'm a demon time. I'm on demon time. I'm on this. I'm on that. I'm like, yo, y'all speaking it into existence, and then when it happens, it's a surprise. It's like, what's a surprise? You want demon time. That's the type of time you want.
That's
So what you
that's
think is
what you
gonna
asked for.
happen on demon? You know what I'm saying? So I always try to just, be mindful of what I speak and how it's spoken. You know what I'm saying? Because we take it for granted how powerful things we speak off. So yeah, man, y'all dope over there, man. And I'm glad I got you, because watching you and just hearing you speak, even through your comments on the live, you're very knowledgeable about a lot of things. Very intelligent. How you
Thank
speak, and even the time, even if you disagree with someone. The other day you were speaking about somebody. I guess they did. Yeah, I kind of put it late, but I guess they didn't agree with you, and you respectfully kind of cursed them out without cursing them out. But you know what I'm saying? Kind of respectfully just saying, look, this is the point I'm trying to get across. Not to say you're not important or your point didn't make sense. I'm just saying understand what I'm going on and why I feel the way I
you.
feel.
I feel
You know what I'm saying? So
I
go
feel it's
ahead.
important in any conversation. If there's anything I ever want to come across, and I said it in the beginning of this interview, and I want to repeat that, is I am a flawed man. I am not
Mm-hmm.
perfect. I have learned 90% of what I've learned through trials and tribulations, through success and failures. And so if anything that I've learned throughout that is life is about perspectives, and the more perspectives you can gain, the better. So even when I have a debate with someone, I'm not the first person to tell you, well, this is what I think. I'm going to ask a question first. I want you to completely elaborate your point so that when I speak, you might even do the same to me, and that's how we have a conversation that creates the nuance that is lacking within social media. That's how we get to the core of things. It's not just me yell your point and you yell your point and then we just do that for fucking hours. It's like, no, let's have a proper conversation and ask questions about each other to see where we're coming from. And you can even take it to a cocky aspect. It's like, if I do that and you still don't want to hear what I'm saying, I tried everything I could, man. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, I saw your point. I tried to make you see mine. You don't want to listen. Have a nice day. But it's like, I feel like that just should be. I try not to crap in anybody's cereal.
Well, it just shows that you listen. You take the time to understand before you react. A lot of people, just react because they react on feeling, not really understanding and processing why the person said what they said and what made them say what they said. And I'm a victim of that, because I'm from
Still,
the reactive. Yeah, I'm from what happened?
yeah,
Well, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
What's going
100%.
on? Or
Yeah,
what happened?
I
But the
used to
older
be
you
like that.
get, and you realize that, hold on, why does he even think? Why does he think that way? What has he? Because sometimes, a lot of time, I think 9 times out of 10, it's never the issue with a person personally. It's something they was going through
Right.
that they didn't really deal with, and whatever happened between y'all, that just brought that out. It triggered that, and now they're reacting. So so now you're reacting to that
Right.
reaction, not really
And
understanding. Hold on,
still victim to it. I still do it, and people know.
well,
Anytime you see me snap, or maybe not immediately, but when I come to, I will apologize. Like, hey, man, I was out of pocket the other day. I meant what I said, but I didn't need to deliver it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been handled differently, and I apologize for that. But
I think that comes with growth. That comes with this understanding, like, oh, you know
definitely with
what?
age.
Everything doesn't need a kind of a certain reaction.
No,
Everything doesn't need to be dealt with that way. Just let me understand, and then we can have a conversation. Like you said earlier, have a conversation. Now I understand. Okay, I was wrong. My bad. Let's move on now.
and also
So
it's okay to go your separate ways. Like we could just, it's fine. This world is beautiful, but I'll play on your side of the sandbox. It's okay. Like I'm not
yeah,
mad at you. You know what I mean?
you're
Like
absolutely right. Hey, we can disagree and still be adults and be grown. Doesn't mean I have to hate you, or so what. All right, you see a 6, I see a 9.
have a good
We
day.
both see a number. Don't mean you better than me.
Yeah, man. But yeah, shout out City, man. Bless up, Valiant MC.
Shout out to City, shout out to
Former
everybody
passion.
tuned in. Shout out to you.
Snap.
And again, yeah, shout out to Sam. Again, shout out to you. Shout out to Rhetoric. Shout out to Nick. Shout out Bro Safari. Shout out the
Yeah,
whole EDM community. That's a a lot of time. I would love to get Bro Safari on here too one day,
we should
and,
definitely
and
do
talk
that.
about his journey, because sometimes we sometimes in hip hop we forget. I don't want to say forget, but we just lose touch with some the entities that intertwine with hip hop and that also branched out and also show love to the culture because it's not hip hop.
It's
You know,
funny,
if that makes sense, you know?
and it's funny because there was a part in time in this project when he was like, "We're just going to call this the Armani Rain album, and I'm just going to lay in the background." And I had a huge problem with that because Nick is not, he's such an integral part of my life, number one. And this whole out, you produced the whole album, bro. It's a collaboration. And it's tough because he has a mega fan base
Hmm.
and whatever about mine. And it's almost like we're resetting. It's like if you go to the thelastRhetoric.com, there's probably like 30 people on there, and we're going to hard launch this thing and then push it properly afterwards. But it's like it is kind of a reset. And a lot of people find that scary. But my whole thing is your art. It's okay for you to burn things down and recreate again. It's art. It will do what it needs to do. You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't be afraid of that. So that's why we came up with the Last Rhetoric, not the meaning, but that's why I made sure that this was a collaborative thing. It's not an Armani Rain album produced by Bro Safari or Bro Safari album featuring Armani Rain. No, it's the two of us. We sat down and put our pain and our heart and souls in this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't ever want that to think it's ever going to be treated any other way. I have solo things I can do. I'm working on a completely other project. Same thing with the Upbeats called Society of Numbers. That's a collaborative thing. I will always make sure that I give flowers to the people that are helping me out. You know what I'm saying? Like we work on these things together. It's a creative space together. So I know
Yo,
that other stuff can get lost in the jargon. I don't ever want that. Nick is a beautiful soul, and I thank him for everything he's given me. So Last Rhetoric, man. Keep an eye out. We'll be doing a hard promo very, 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 very soon. But March 10th
March
is
10th.
actually here. Yeah.
March 10th. Follow that Monty Rain. Follow Bro Safari. Get in touch. Get in tune. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Triller Jones. Shout out to Joe Knight. Shout out to everybody commenting. Rap Guard, Vicious.
Oh shit, Joe Nice in
Everybody
here?
commenting, showing love,
Legend.
throwing emojis, sharing the live video. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Please, March 10th. Look out for that. Last Rhetoric always. You know what's crazy? Because on the album, I was like, hold on, when is Nick gonna, when is Bro Safari gonna rap? I was like, hold on, wait.
Nick couldn't
That's,
rap to
that's,
save his life, and
at
I
first I
wasn't
was like,
trying to
hold on.
match him
I was
on
like,
beats either.
you know what's dope? Because a lot of those, a few tracks, you kind of sound like two different people. So people would have to catch on, like, hold on, that's the same person. Because I was like, hold on, who? Because even one, I think it was, what track is that? One other track, I was like, is that Royce? I was about like, hold on, is Royce? Because like, again, the way you chop it up and is very precise with the intricacies with Royce, with them how y'all frame your bars. So I was like, hold on, is that Royce? I was like, hold on, I couldn't tell, and that's to me that's a good thing when it
Yeah,
comes to being an
for sure.
artist. I'm like, hold on, I couldn't tell if it was
I
Rain
try to be
or Royce.
I try to be
So
as
that
versatile as possible. Like even the track Apple Juice, like we purposely wanted to make some really old school New Yorky things. So when he sent me the beat, my first reaction was, this is gonna be my homage to Nine. Now, some of y'all are too young to know who Nine is, but that was the whole point of the way I spit those bars. Not the song itself, but the way I sounded in there. There was like my homage to old school hip hop. And when I go old school hip hop, I try to think of the things that you ain't playing in the club. I remember what you want,
mm,
Nine. Love like we said, like I like the DMX. It's like the B sides of things. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
Honey Dips in Gotham and things. I want to remind you of those times. You know what I'm saying? So like yeah. So every track is different. Some of them a dedication to the old, some of them a shout out to the future, and it was kind of the point. So hopefully we can just continue to create without any kind of bounds or constraints.
I ain't gonna front it took me when you sent me the album. It took me a while. 'Cause I want to be when I listen to certain albums. I like to be in a certain space and like I want to be. I don't want no distractions. I want to be listening. So when I first put it on, when I first heard the old ways, I was like, hold on, what? Like, no, hold on, I gotta be in a different. The first few bars I said, hold up, I gotta be in a different zone
Yeah,
now
straight from
state
the rip.
when I hear it. Because I was like, this ain't something you can skim through. You
And
really gotta
and that's another thing
sit,
I do want to point out for those who
sit
listen
down.
to the album. This is going to be a weird thing from an artist, but I don't want you to listen to it until you've got 36 minutes of free time. It's not a
You-
single album.
you-
He worked on the music. I did all the skits. Like it's meant to bleed into each other and just, you know what I mean? And you can pick and choose after that if you please. But, you know, like I worked on the soundscapes. I did the videos, which you'll see. Like, you know, we put some shit on merch and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You definitely need some time to really dissect that, because it ain't a breeze through. You gotta really
yeah.
dissect it, because that's what I had to do. I'm still dissecting it. Like, hold on,
I
what?
appreciate
What
it.
did he say?
Old
Hold
Tales,
on.
man. Coming out March 10th. Last Rhetoric, Old Tales.
Oh, shit. Somebody said they eat an edible. You really zone out.
That's my man. That's my man MJ.
You
It's
might
the
start seeing the word. You might start seeing the
yeah.
lyrics.
That's my other half. When my nice guy doesn't oh shit. When my nice guy doesn't work, you gotta talk to MJ. That's my man.
No, yeah, man. So, Amani, so what can we expect from you? Besides Last Rhetoric, what else is on the horizon? Where can we find you? Like, any battles coming up? Anything going on? Where you want to give the people know what's going on and what you got coming up?
I laugh because I'm not in the tournament, and I thought I was gonna be able to walk by it. And somebody went and challenged me today. We're gonna leave that for when it's up. Anyway, we got a lot coming up, man. The Last Rhetoric album, be with myself and Nick, comes out March 10th. Festival season has begun again, so I'm kind of on my drum and bass grind. Got a lot of gigs coming up with the LTJ Bookem. I'm actually leaving Wednesday to go to Tulum, Mexico for a 4-day festival there with a bevy of absolutely legendary artists. You'll catch me at Lightning in a Bottle and a bunch of other festivals that I can't announce yet. So just stay tuned to my social media account. And we've got some stuff brewing for Last Rhetoric Live as well. Finishing up the Society of Numbers album, and also working on finishing up a sync album with my people artisan, who knows that's where we do all the video game and trailer music and stuff. So we're creating an album for that as well. So keep an eye out. Working on some videos on the side project, uh, building up Rain Creative, which is basically I'm trying to create a hub for other artists so I can help you all get into the sync market as well. I'm jack of all trades, master of none type thing. I'm not spinning enough plates, so let me learn how to use Blender. It's like,
Also,
it's like, you know what I mean. So, but I've got a lot of stuff coming up, and I appreciate if you guys just link in and not just connect with me, but connect with the community. The tournament's going on right now. We're getting to the final rounds of that. There will be another one coming right up after that, and tap into the community with the devious and vicious more than just Tuesdays and Fridays. Like, get to learn and mingle with the people that are there. Some really dope cats. So there's a lot on the horizon with not just me, but everyone within my circumference, and beyond their circumference as well. It just continues to build. So, that's
Dope. Dope. And first of all, you're a prime example of artists. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself and don't rush. You can't fool the universe. You can fool man. You can't fool the universe. So don't try to take the back way and let somebody let you win. Watch yourself. Gotta watch him out here. Gotta
yeah,
watch him.
Woosh gang in the
Shout
building.
again. Shout out to Alien Gang. Shout out to Vish, Devious. Shout out to See the Grace of the Foundation. Shout out to Armani Rain. Look out for him. Shout out to Bro Safari. Shout out to the whole EDM community. Shout out to everybody that was tuned in, that commented, that shared the live. I appreciate y'all. And before I go, y'all know my motto, man. Write your own history, or someone will write it for you. Turn hurdles into hustles. Turn obstacles into opportunity. It's impossible to think an impossible thought. Amani Rain, I appreciate you. Love, brother. Have a great night. Thank you for your time. Last Rhetoric, always, March 10th, everywhere. Tap in. Follow Amani Rain and Bro Safari. Have a good one, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you once again for doing this, man. I appreciate your time, man. Keep pushing
Any,
the light.
yes,
Blessings.
thank you. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Thank
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, the whole Alien Gang. Thank my Certified Nation family, City Great, Sam, Kuraski, J Lord, everybody, the whole Alien Gang, Rap Guard, Kid Vicious, Devious, everybody, Knowledge, everybody. I love y'all. Trilla Jones, Joe Nice, everybody tuned in. Shout out to any new followers. I appreciate y'all. Anybody want to interview, tap in. Let's tap in. Let's grow the network. That's all I'm about. Just growing the network. and just, being innovative and inspiring someone else to take the torch and do the same thing. So salute to y'all, Alien Gang, Certified Nation. You know my motto, man. Write your own history or someone will write it for you. Impossible is only 10 letters. Stay focused, people. All right? Everybody follow everybody. Everybody do your thing. Everybody stay creative. Everybody have a great night. You know what I'm saying? Rap God, yes, definitely soon. Rap God, I got you. Kid Vicious, we definitely got to link in. Everybody, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the new viewers, new watchers, new followers. I appreciate y'all. I will follow back. Tune into the YouTube page, Write Your Own History YouTube. I got all interviews up there. This interview will be up there tonight, tomorrow, the latest. Thank you about the whole village. Thank you to Senior G, my whole village family, everybody, man. Like I said, man, I love y'all. Keep doing your thing. Keep being great. Keep being innovative. Keep inspiring. Keep motivating, man. Again, write your own history or someone real write it for you. And that's a fact. It's only